Hey guys, who's ready for a really weird story time whilst I do this Sims build? Okay, so since the content about my boyfriend seems to do quite well on here, I thought let's leech on that a little bit more. Let's get some more money out of my relationship, monetize it. I'm kidding. I just thought it's a very weird story to explain how me and my boyfriend's relationship came to be because it's essentially a lesbian relationship at this point. Okay, so we matched on a dating app, but we lived really far away from each other, like opposite sides of the country. I lived in the northwest, he lived in the southeast. We talked every day for 2 months after matching on this dating app. We hadn't met, but we were like FaceTiming and every day falling asleep on the phone together. And so then we organised our first date, which this is where we get to the part of it being very lesbian-esque, was that it was a 5-day long first date, which was in my hometown. So he travelled 6.5 hours for our first date, which was 5 days in a travel lodge, which sounds really suspicious, like seedy, but it wasn't. It was just we both still lived with our parents, so it was like neither of us wanted to have the first date be like meeting in the middle or be like or be in one of our parents' houses, because that would not be the vibes. On our 5-day long first date, it was either the second or third day of this date. I think it was maybe the second? No, it was the third. But anyway, second or third day of this first date, we became official. And we did this whilst we were out on a walk. But my jacket got dirty whilst we were out on this walk. So, because we were in my hometown for this date, we went back to my parents' house to go and get a clean jacket. And then I said to him, I was like, you don't have to come in. Like, I know this is insane. Like, you can wait here. And he was like, well, this seems rude because they're like right there, and I could just chat to them for a little bit. And yeah, so we went inside. And like I was trying to introduce him, and it was all gonna be nice whilst I grabbed a new jacket. But that day my parents decided they were gonna have an argument. So my mum was dropping not so subtle hints about how mad she was at my dad that day, and my dad was pretending he didn't notice any of it. I will preface that they have been together for 25 years and they love each other a lot. Every couple has arguments. This was just a poorly timed one on their part. And then on our second date, we went to Winter Wonderland in London, and then we went to stay at his parents' house. But he was working the next day after we'd got there, so we spent the evening sort of chatting with his parents and stuff. But like, that was it. And then the next day, he was at work all day, and I was alone in his family home with his parents on our technically second date. And so I went out with his parents to walk the dogs, and his mum was just telling me about what my wedding ring was gonna be like, and she was telling me the whole history of the village that they're from, which was really sweet. And yeah, it was odd, but I'm glad she liked me and still does at this point. Our third date was in Swansea for one of his friends' birthday parties, and that was a really good time. Met all of his friends on the third date. Which some might think was intense, but we had a great time. And after that third date, we ended up moving in together, which is mental. I'm well aware of how insane that is. Everyone that finds out about this part of the story is like, what the hell? But like I said, it's very on brand if we were lesbians. But yeah, so it wasn't necessarily that we were trying to move in together so quickly. It was that because of what I studied at uni, I knew I was going to have to move south to do anything related to my degree, because there isn't as much industry in the north. Then I got offered a job in the southwest where we live now, and so I phoned him and I was like, do you want to move here with me? And he was like, yeah, fair enough. It just kind of worked out that like I got offered this job down south. He didn't want to live with his parents anymore. He wanted to be moving out of his parents' house. So I was like, this is financially beneficial for both of us, and if it doesn't work out, it's going to be a real tough lesson to learn, but here we go. But yeah, flash forward to almost 2 years later, I'm just two neurodivergent widows hanging out every day and being best friends as well as partners. So, It's a great time. Oh, and would you look at that? I've finished building the house. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked my weird story time. I might do some more of these if you guys enjoyed it.